Let me begin with a simple truth, a truth many avoid, a truth most don't want to hear. For every gain, there is a price. Success always demands something. It asks for payment, and that payment, my friends, is sacrifice. You don't get success for free. There's no shortcut. There's no magic formula. There's only this. Give up something you want now for something greater you want later. That's sacrifice. And that's where the power lies. Now listen carefully. Everyone wants success, but not everyone is willing to give up comfort. Not everyone is willing to trade their distractions, their laziness, their easy pleasures for discipline, for effort, for long nights of work. If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. That's the price. And that price is sacrifice. You see, success is not unfair. It simply honors those who pay the price. You want financial freedom? Sacrifice careless spending. You want health? Sacrifice poor habits. You want knowledge? Sacrifice wasted time. You want peace of mind? Sacrifice negativity. At every level, the exchange is the same. You give up one thing. You gain another. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. Most people live with regret because they chose comfort today over discipline yesterday. And yet, the moment you choose sacrifice, something shifts. You take control. You step forward. You build momentum. And over time, that sacrifice turns into strength. It turns into character. It turns into success. Success is not built by what you keep. It's built by what you're willing to give up. So buckle in, reflect deeply, and ask yourself, what am I willing to give up to achieve the life I desire? Because your answer will determine your future. Let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. Success isn't free. It isn't automatic. It doesn't happen just because you wish for it. Success must be earned. And every ounce of success comes at a price. The price is called sacrifice. You see, life operates by laws. Not by chance, not by luck, but by laws. And one of those laws is simple. You must give up to go up. That's why sacrifice isn't just helpful. It's necessary. It's not optional. It's the admission price to the life you desire. You cannot hold on to everything and expect to move forward. You cannot cling to comfort and expect growth. You cannot pursue every pleasure and expect discipline. Success requires choices, and every choice demands you leave something behind. That's why most people never reach their full potential. They want the reward, but they resist the cost. They want wealth, but refuse to give up reckless spending. They want health, but refuse to sacrifice bad habits. They want wisdom, but refuse to sacrifice idle entertainment. They want the destination, but refuse to pay for the ticket. I've often said, for things to change, you have to change. And change always begins with sacrifice. You give up ease for discipline. You give up procrastination for action. You give up blaming for responsibility. Every time you sacrifice something unworthy, you make room for something greater. It's like carrying a heavy load. You can't pick up something new if your hands are full. You must first let go. The problem is, sacrifice feels uncomfortable. It challenges us. It demands we face our own weaknesses. It asks questions like, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to give up to have it? Will you choose temporary comfort or lasting success? Most people sadly choose comfort. And then one day, they wake up with regret. Regret that they didn't pay the price when they had the chance. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. That's the weight they carry. But those who choose sacrifice, they carry something different. They carry pride. They carry confidence. They carry freedom. Because sacrifice, while painful in the moment, creates freedom later. You sacrifice sleep to study and gain knowledge. You sacrifice spending to save and gain financial security. You sacrifice comfort to exercise and gain health. You see, the price of sacrifice is always temporary, but the reward lasts. That's the great irony. The more you sacrifice now, the less you sacrifice later. You sacrifice your evenings now to build your dream and avoid sacrificing your entire life to a job you hate. You sacrifice junk food now and avoid sacrificing years to illness. You sacrifice distractions now and avoid sacrificing your potential to mediocrity. The pain of discipline is nothing compared to the pain of regret. When you truly understand this, sacrifice stops feeling like loss. It starts feeling like investment. You're not giving something up. You're trading up. You're exchanging temporary comfort for permanent achievement. You're exchanging a little pain now for a lot of joy later. That's why sacrifice is not your enemy. It's your greatest ally. And once you embrace it, once you stop fighting it, you open the door to levels of success you never thought possible. Remember, nothing of value comes without sacrifice. You must decide, do you want comfort today or freedom tomorrow? Do you want pleasure now or success forever? The choice is always yours, but the price must be paid either way. You can pay the price of discipline today or pay the price of regret tomorrow. Now that we understand sacrifice is necessary, the next question becomes very important. What should you sacrifice? Because here's the truth. You can't sacrifice everything, and you shouldn't. Life is not about giving up all the good things. It's about giving up the right things. The key is learning the difference between what's important and what's merely urgent, between what's temporary and what's permanent, between what's pleasant and what's powerful. You see, life will offer you many distractions, many opportunities to trade your future for your present comfort. The television, the social media feed, the unnecessary spending, the mindless conversations, the hours wasted on things that add nothing to your life. And here's where most people fail. They sacrifice their future for the present. They trade the long term for the short term. They trade the valuable for the worthless. The successful do the opposite. They sacrifice temporary pleasure for permanent gain. They sacrifice a few hours of sleep to work on their dreams. They sacrifice spending today to invest in their tomorrow. They sacrifice entertainment to build their skill set. They sacrifice popularity to stay focused on their path. That's the great distinction. Don't major in minor things. That's what I learned years ago. Most people major in minor things. They focus their time and energy on what doesn't matter, and then wonder why their life doesn't change. Choosing what to sacrifice starts with asking yourself tough questions. Does this habit bring me closer to my goals or pull me away? Does this activity build my future or waste my time? Does this expense create wealth or drain my resources? Does this relationship strengthen me or weaken me? Every time you answer honestly, you see what must go. Now, let me be clear. Sacrifice doesn't always feel good at first. Sometimes it feels like loss because you're giving up things you enjoy. But not all enjoyment is equal. Some enjoyment costs you everything later. Some enjoyment leaves you empty. Some enjoyment delays your dreams. The successful understand this. Temporary pleasures can destroy permanent happiness. They are willing to say, I will give up what feels good now to have what feels great later. Sacrifice is really about priority. You sacrifice what matters less for what matters more. You give up the small for the great. You give up what's easy for what's meaningful. You sacrifice distractions for focus. You sacrifice comfort for discipline. You sacrifice approval for integrity. That's how you create the life you desire. Let me tell you something else. Not all sacrifice is visible. Sometimes it's sacrificing your ego, admitting you don't know everything, asking for help, learning from others. Sometimes it's sacrificing your pride, forgiving someone who hurt you, letting go of resentment, choosing peace over bitterness. Sometimes it's sacrificing your fears, stepping out when you feel unsure, taking risks, facing rejection. And sometimes it's sacrificing your bad habits, the laziness, the procrastination, the excuses. If you don't like how things are, change it. You're not a tree. You can change. But every change begins with a sacrifice. And here's the reward. Every time you sacrifice something unworthy, you create space for something greater. You create space for growth, for learning, for wealth, for love, for freedom. You're not just giving things up. You're trading up. You're making room for a bigger, better life. That's the beauty of sacrifice when you choose it wisely. So ask yourself today, what am I holding on to that's holding me back? What am I willing to give up to move forward? Because your future is waiting, but it won't wait forever. The sooner you choose your sacrifices, the sooner you step into the life you were meant to live. Success is not so much what you add to your life, it's often what you subtract. Life will offer you two kinds of pain. You can't escape them. You must choose between them. The first is the pain of sacrifice. The second is the pain of regret. Both hurt. Both cost something, but they lead to very different destinations. Let's begin with the first one, the pain of sacrifice. It's the pain you feel when you wake up early while others sleep. It's the pain you feel when you study while others party. It's the pain you feel when you save money while others spend carelessly. It's the pain you feel when you discipline yourself while others take the easy road. Yes, it stings. It's uncomfortable. It tests you. It requires effort and self-control. But here's the secret. The pain of sacrifice is temporary. It lasts for a moment, but its rewards can last a lifetime. Every sacrifice you make today builds something solid for tomorrow. You trade a little discomfort now for security, freedom, and confidence later. We must all suffer one of two things, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. That's what I've learned. Now, let's talk about the second kind of pain, the pain of regret. This pain comes quietly. It shows up later sometimes, years later. It whispers to you in the night when opportunities have passed you by. It's the pain of looking back and realizing what could have been, the business you didn't start, the knowledge you didn't learn, the health you didn't protect, the relationships you didn't nurture. Regret is heavy. It lingers. It doesn't fade as quickly as the pain of sacrifice. You can't go back and relive the years you wasted. You can't reclaim the time you lost. You can't redo the moments you ignored. That's why regret is so painful, because it's permanent. You see, the pain of sacrifice carries hope. The pain of regret carries sorrow. When you sacrifice, you plant seeds for a better harvest. When you avoid sacrifice, you reap emptiness. Every moment of laziness today becomes regret tomorrow. Every shortcut you take today becomes a missed opportunity tomorrow. But every sacrifice you make today becomes peace of mind tomorrow. The peace of knowing you gave your best. The peace of knowing you did not waste your chance. It's not what happens that determines the quality of your life. It's what you do about it. And what you do about it always comes down to whether you embrace sacrifice or avoid it. Now, let me share something personal. I've never met a successful person who said, I regret sacrificing my comfort to pursue my dream. But I've met many who said, I wish I had started sooner. I wish I had been more disciplined. I wish I had taken the risk when I had the chance. That's the voice of regret. And once you hear that voice, it's hard to silence it. That's why I always encourage people, choose your pain early. Take the pain of sacrifice now, so you don't suffer the pain of regret later. When you sacrifice early, you build discipline, you build strength, you build confidence, and those qualities carry you forward. The person who sacrifices becomes unstoppable. They don't fear hard work. They don't run from challenges. They face life with courage. Why? Because they've trained themselves. They've learned that the temporary pain of sacrifice leads to permanent strength. But the person who avoids sacrifice becomes trapped by regret, trapped by lost time, trapped by missed opportunities. That's the tragedy of regret. It always arrives too late. So my advice is simple. Choose the right pain. Take control while you can. The pain of sacrifice is light compared to the crushing weight of regret. Every disciplined effort you make today pays you back later. Every sacrifice you choose today secures your future tomorrow. You are always trading one pain for another. Choose wisely, because while sacrifice costs you now, regret costs you forever. Pay the price now so you can pay any price later. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on something most people overlook. Sacrifice doesn't just buy you success. It buys you something much more valuable. It buys you character. It buys you strength. It shapes the person you're becoming. Because success isn't something you simply get. Success is something you grow into. You see, my friends, you don't attract success by what you wish for. You attract it by who you become. Success is something you attract by the person you become. And the tool that chisels you into that person, it's sacrifice. Now, why is character so important? Because character is what holds your life together when everything else is tested. Money may come and go. Opportunities may rise and fall. But character stays. Character carries you. Character is the inner strength that allows you to handle prosperity and endure adversity. Let me share something I've observed over the years. I've seen people who stumbled into sudden success, whether by luck or timing. And because they never developed character through sacrifice, they couldn't handle the very thing they'd received. They lost it. They wasted it. They crumbled under the weight of their own success. Why? Because their character hadn't been built to support the blessing. You see, without sacrifice, success is fragile. But with sacrifice, success becomes solid. It becomes permanent. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. And you become better through sacrifice. When you sacrifice the easy road, you build resilience. When you sacrifice laziness, you build discipline. When you sacrifice fear, you build courage. When you sacrifice complaining, you build gratitude. When you sacrifice short-term pleasure, you build long-term peace. Every small sacrifice strengthens your foundation. Think of it like building a tall skyscraper. The taller you want to build, the deeper your foundation must go. And every sacrifice you make, every moment of discipline, is another layer of concrete poured deep into your foundation. That's why the most successful people aren't afraid of sacrifice. They understand it's not taking something from them. It's giving something to them. It's building their inner fortress. You see, every time you say no to a bad habit, you strengthen your willpower. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you sharpen your focus. Every time you delay gratification, you deepen your patience. And as you continue to sacrifice, you grow into a person of great capacity. You can handle more pressure. You can withstand more setbacks. You can navigate more complexity because your character has been forged in the fires of sacrifice. Let me tell you something very personal I've observed in my own journey. I didn't become stronger when things were easy. I became stronger when I made difficult decisions. When I said no to distractions. When I walked away from easy money because it didn't align with my values. When I stayed disciplined while others drifted. It was those sacrifices that shaped me, not the comfort to sacrifice. That's why I often say, the greatest value of discipline isn't the result you achieve, it's the person you become along the way. You see, anyone can succeed for a moment, but true, lasting success belongs to those who have built themselves to carry it. And here's the best part. As you strengthen your character, you don't just elevate yourself, you inspire others. Your children will watch you. Your coworkers will notice. Your friends will feel your example. You become a leader by who you are, not just by what you say. And where did it all begin? With sacrifice. The hours you stayed focused when others gave up. The mornings you rose early while others slept. The temptations you resisted when no one was watching. These small, private sacrifices. They are the silent architects of your character. They're what prepare you for opportunity when it finally knocks. Because opportunity is useless without preparation. And preparation is built one sacrifice at a time. My mentor taught me, you cannot cheat the process. You cannot borrow someone else's discipline. You must pay your own price. And the price is sacrifice. But friends, the payoff is priceless. Because when you have character, you have peace. You have confidence. You have strength that no crisis can take from you. You sleep well at night, knowing you've done the work. You walk tall, knowing you've stayed true to your values. And perhaps most importantly, you no longer fear life's storms because you've already built yourself strong enough to endure them. That, my friends, is the quiet, immeasurable reward of sacrifice. Success isn't something you chase. It's something you become ready for. Sacrifice is what prepares you. As we come to this final part, I want you to feel something important, a sense of hope, a sense of purpose, because sacrifice, while difficult, is never in vain. Remember this. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Wish, and when you sacrifice, you become better. You become ready for something greater than you've ever imagined. Now, what is the ultimate reward of sacrifice? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it a title or a position? Number. The ultimate reward is freedom. Freedom to live life on your terms. Freedom to make choices that align with your values. Freedom to serve others and make a difference. Sacrifice is the gateway to this freedom. Think about it. When you sacrifice short-term pleasures for long-term gains, you're creating a life of abundance. Not just financial abundance, but abundance of time, relationships, and inner peace. When you sacrifice poor habits, you free yourself from the chains that once held you back. When you sacrifice excuses, you free your mind to solve problems and take action. And with each sacrifice, you step closer to living a life you truly desire. But here's a truth many don't see. Sacrifice is not a punishment. It's a privilege. It means you care enough about your future to pay a price today. It means you value yourself enough to endure temporary discomfort for lasting joy. It means you are committed to growth, no matter how hard it gets. Now, I want you to reflect on this for a moment. How many people live their entire lives never making a sacrifice? Never delaying gratification? Never investing the effort to become better? They live comfortable, safe lives, but they never taste greatness. They never know the joy of achieving a big goal. They never experience the fulfillment of living their purpose. Don't be that person. Be the person who understands that every sacrifice is a seed planted in the soil of your life. And over time, with care and persistence, that seed grows into a mighty tree. A tree that provides shelter, fruit, and beauty. A tree that stands firm through storms. A tree that leaves a legacy. That is the reward of sacrifice. A life transformed. A life worth living. And there is something else. Sacrifice teaches gratitude. Because when you've earned your success through sacrifice, you appreciate it deeply. You don't take it for granted. You see, it's easy to lose what you get without effort. But when you earn something, it becomes priceless. You develop humility and grace. You understand the value of hard work and the pain it took. And that makes you a better person. A person who can give back. A person who can inspire others. Sacrifice builds a legacy. Think about the great leaders, innovators, and heroes of history. What do they have in common? They all sacrificed. They gave up comfort, safety, and ease to pursue something greater. And their sacrifices echo across time, inspiring generations to come. So when you feel the weight of sacrifice, remember, you're walking a path many have walked before you. You're joining a tradition of greatness. And the ultimate reward is a life of meaning, a life that matters to you, to your family, to your community, to the world. And here's the most beautiful truth. Sacrifice is not forever. It's temporary. It's a season. But the rewards, they last a lifetime. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. You choose today. Choose to sacrifice for what matters. Choose to endure the temporary discomfort for permanent gain. And one day soon you'll look back and say, it was worth it. Every moment, every effort, every sacrifice. Because you became the person you were meant to be. Because you built a life you're proud of. Because you earned your freedom. Sacrifice is the seed. Success is the tree. And freedom is the fruit that nourishes your soul. So my friend, are you ready to embrace sacrifice? Are you ready to become stronger, wiser, and free? If so, start today. Start small. Start now. Because the path to greatness is paved with sacrifice. And on the other side, the ultimate reward awaits.